Hello, namaste, and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Nagesh Deshpande. In this career coaching um, series of Agile Exploration Hub, we would like to bring a new episode where we are going to discuss why are you stuck at the senior level despite of 10 plus years of experience. So be it you're an individual contributor, you're a scrum master, agile coach, project manager, product owner, if you are doing this role and you're stuck into your role, this episode is for you. To talk on this episode, we have very highly experienced individual, Manoj, doing his practice. He is a PMI champion. He is a certified leadership trainer and coach. Let's listen from him why individuals are feeling stuck even after so many years of experience. So without wasting much time, let's welcome Manoj.
Thank you, Nagesh, for inviting me here, and very much greeting to you and all the audiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. How are you, sir?
Absolutely fine. Thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, good weekend. We record on weekends and release new episodes on every Monday. So,
Yes,
Manoj, I guess you are from Delhi, right? You're in Delhi.
yes, yes.
Yes. So, see, guys, we are bringing speakers from all over India. So, previous episode we had a speaker from Mangalore. We had a speaker from Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai. Now we are having a speaker from Delhi also. So, Manoj, from many years, like as working as agile coach, and I'm transitioning into career coach as well. I'm seeing this pattern throughout my journey that people are stuck in their experience. Even having 15 years, 10 years more than experience, and they're still doing the same work that what they were doing 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So let's discuss this and see how and understand why do experienced professional stuck in the senior roles?
Well, very relevant questions. Even I get same question from many professionals whom I consult. And I personally believe, Nagesh, seniors professionals are get stuck not because they stop working hard or they are not skilled enough, but because they stop being uncomfortable. That is
Okay.
very important
Mm.
because the moment you come in the comfort zone, the negative time starts for you. That's my
Right.
personal belief that has been following it since. And when I say it, like, let me tell you example when you joined as a junior person in the team. I'm sure each of us have struggled a lot. We have extended shift stress so much, learning new things from managers, peers, from books, lots of things, because we were in the uncomfortable zone. That was the
Right.
discomfort zone. And that continued help us to grow further. But after 2 year, 3 year, the moment we are very much usual and become a SME of that process and project, we become in the comfort zone.
Right.
So personally, what happened, we believe that this is a reward for us. Now I'm comfortable with the process, with the people, with the stakeholder. I don't have to do much effort for that. But actually, that is going to be harmful for the leadership roadmap.
Right.
That's my take.
Right.
Second thing,
Yeah.
it becomes like, yeah, please.
Yeah. So I was just wanted, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
just wanted to add something. As soon as we came to know that there are someone else is going to do this work, we tend to become into comfort zone. When we were
Yes.
doing an individual contributor, we know that I have to do this work.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
time we are always on our toes. Otherwise,
Yes.
we will go into the and as soon as we know that there are my team, there are people who can do that in my absence, or even if I am there in front of them, they will take care of it. So that's my view.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I say it as a kind of identity trap.
Right,
Remember last time I was talking about the ceremony trap.
right,
And this is the second terminology I use, the identity trap. Because what happens, people are just creating your own identity in one specific domain. So for
correct.
the leadership or the entire organization, you become a one skill expert.
Hmm.
Nobody is calling you for anything extra, and not neither you are putting your effort to showcase that you have different skills apart from that what you have been appointed for, right? And I think that showcasing speciality or the efforts that you put beyond your main core subject, That is the again the ticket for your growth.
Correct. And then you just did mention few behaviors. What are some of the behaviors top leaders to trust you to move into a bigger roles?
There are many, I would say. First thing is, most of the time, the person who is overconfident,
Hmm.
they most of the time I have seen come with the solution without any context. Let's take an example. In the boardroom, people are discussing some very highly complex situation or any problem that they have identified, and somebody gets, I'll fix it immediately. Don't worry, I'll
Right.
fix it. And
Hmm.
after that, when actually it comes to the solution provided, that person messed up everything.
Hmm.
So that actually not only the problem with that person, it creates a discomfort zone for their leaders as well, immediate manager, supervisor, right? All this thing, because that person has committed that I'll give the solution. So that is one thing I have found, that many capable people are losing the opportunity. They got that work to do, showcase their skill, but just they jumped it without any context or preparation, without any executable roadmap. Rather than, I would say, take your time, showcase that, okay, I can try to fix it, give me an opportunity, give with the proper solution and the roadmap. That is going to ensure that leadership will get a confidence that they will be thinking about you to give you next complex task, right? That is one thing. Second thing, most of the time they are very, very much, engaging in making place to the upward hierarchy only. They are not
Ah,
thinking about the peers or the
right.
downsides. That is very important. So it may be, you are creating a very good rapport with your manager, your director, everything, upward hierarchy is fine. But when it comes to promotion, your behavior feedback will go from every vertical, from everyone,
Right.
because top leadership, we are talking about the 15-year, 20 years bracket people, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we are not talking about the early risers.
No, we are
So
not
when
talking
it
about
comes
the
to,
juniors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have spent 20 years and you are looking for some positions like a director, VP or something, these kind of promotions are not happens based on one person input.
Right.
Entire organization will get a feedback, some maybe different departments, your team members, every. So you have to think about your personal rapport should be equally relatable and acceptable by everyone. Doesn't matter
Right.
your upward hierarchy, downward hierarchy, or the parallel hierarchy.
Right.
These are the two things that I have seen bigger, barriers.
Yeah,
It's all
rightly
about the
mentioned.
mindset.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All about mindset. Yeah, yeah. I like this point a lot, where you have to, become a bridge or become a very nice relation with the both end, not just the upward like your seniors, managers, and directors, but you also need to be very, very interactive and equally responsible and responding to your team also, peers also. That's a valid point. Now, let's say there are a lot of people who do a lot of hard work, but still, um, they are their work doesn't get translated into promotions. What might be the reason?
Ah, I think it's very, 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 very common and very, very relevant.
Right,
Uh, I will take in a different way. My personal belief is that your hard work is the ticket to enter in the corporate. It's an entry
right.
ticket.
Hmm,
Hard work doesn't work for your growth.
hmm,
Growth will happen when you have a strategic execution. You
right,
show up at the right place at the right time. Because as I said in the first question you asked, that early entry, when you enter for a position on the junior level, you have to do a lot of learning, lot of rapport building, lot of effort. So those hard work definitely is going to help you to sustain in that role. But if you are looking for the further growth in the senior positions, that is not it. You need to be smart work as well as the business acumen based output and outcome versus output and outcome based delivery. That
right,
is going to be the ticket to the growth in the senior level. We discussed this in the last podcast as well. So
right.
people redirect all their energy to the execution. I would say 90% time they are putting their energy in the execution part, and 10% maybe in the relation building. But for the senior positions, you have to distribute at least 70-30%. It's okay because that is
Hmm,
your core job. You have to
right,
spend time, you have to energy in your core domain. But again, as I said, your promotion is not a one person decision. Let's see, I'm going to be promoted for a director. My application will go through a boardroom where it will be asked from the operation manager, finance side, everybody. Maybe my manager has given a very good testimonial, but that is not enough. CEOs or the chief HR person will ask from the finance manager, ops manager, because those roles are going to interact with the cross-functional businesses, right?
Right,
So they will try to ask the how this person has the personal rapport with the other departments, and what will
okay,
be the answer that other managers or the directors will say, I never had a chance to work with him, so I can't tell,
right,
right?
correct.
So
Mhm.
these things are going to be a negative barrier for you.
Right.
So they have
Agree. We have
to,
seen.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen such cases. Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Now, um, let's say I also want to understand, what do leaders expect the most professional that miss?
When like you have spent so much time, as I said, after spending so many years, you get overconfident because you
Right.
are a master of SME of some person. And I would say it's not only the overconfidence, but you become a sorry, a trustworthy person whenever that kind of situation is there. Your vertical leaders will always follow you.
Hmm.
Maybe you have built a very good rapport based on about your availability. Even if midnight crisis there, you are there. But again, there is another problem that when everything is smooth, you are not in the picture,
Ah,
right? So you must have seen some people in the office that they are coming when crisis there, and after that they say, "Okay, I don't need. I'm going to home. I have
yeah,
this
right,
money."
right.
And that time, leaders are bound to support them because that person is the crisis, builder, the crisis report. So that has
Reliever.
helped them to fix that breakage. But what about other people who are following the process and official ethics, coming on time, going on time, unscheduled leaves, all these things? So those people start taking the undue advantage. Now leadership has to think about the balanced approach.
Right.
So this is one thing that leaders are thinking for that person because that person is useful for the business. And
Agree.
normally there is a very common thing in Indian organizations. I have seen, मेरा काम बोलेगा, right? I don't need to be follow all these rules. मेरा काम बोलेगा. My work
Right.
will speak about itself.
Right.
But that will not work when it comes to the promotion. As I told you, because your attitude, your behavior is not that well for the other departments.
Agree.
Whenever they are looking for you, you are not available.
Hmm.
So these kind of people think that when my manager say I will do, otherwise it's not my job. So they
Right.
have to build that rapport that office department or other cross functional teams are equally responsible and value adding to your promotion and growth. The
Right.
number one is the comfort with ambiguity. At senior level, there is no clean problem for you. It's not like that this is the problem, there is a solution you have to execute. Every time you will get a different type of problems. And when you come without approach, a strategic approach or any solid data centric solution, it will be difficult for leaders to trust on you. Again, the trust signal is breaking.
Right.
Second, I would say, as I said, don't try to make happy just your seniors, but talk about your team as well. Suppose you
Right.
are in the team manager, you are a team manager. Every time you go to boardroom, just talking about yourself or your seniors, you are not bringing the team's problem on the table. Whereas the
Correct.
leadership are expecting from you that you should come with the problems that you are facing and your team members are facing, how you are managing their growth, how you are managing their skill upgradation, how they are doing, not only you, because as a leadership, they want to understand how you are treating your people within working within you, right? So that
Correct.
is another content. So these are some basic things that people comes on think about just themselves, not the entire team, and these behaviors are not good for the leadership role.
Right.
That goes negative.
Yeah. Yeah. So one more thing, something related to what you said, but I'm observed that in our industry there are a lot of people who make a situation where a team becomes dependent on them. When there is a crunch situation, uh, he or she become the go-to person. Without that, everything will collapse. So in such situations, people will get highlighted, people will be seeing you as a problem solver and all that. But at the time of promotions, the management will definitely look into such scenario where this person is become highly volatile, dependent on him. It's become a risk now. If this person, let's say, is not available, my team will not function. So in such kind of scenarios, also management will think very differently, whether they want to promote you or not. So be aware, avoid doing that. Share the load, or distribute your work very nicely among your peers, and give enough credit, or give, like Manoj ji said just now, talk about your team in front of leaders also, not just about yourself. Now, uh, moving ahead.
I would
Yeah,
like
go
to
ahead.
add one more
Sure.
point here. Uh, as you said that there are the people who become the dependent for the management. I think this is the signal. This is not the about that person. It's a signal of immature leadership. I
Agree.
would be very blunt about it.
Mhm.
It's an immature leadership. Why they created this situation that their core business is dependent on some person, a specific person. Why there is no backup resource,
Agree.
right?
Yes.
So that comes with the either extra favor or immature strategy.
Absolutely agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Then let's move on. How does lack of visibility slows the career growth?
Lack of visibility is there are two aspects I would say. One thing is somebody is very much visible. You attend every meeting. You are always in the office. You reply to all the emails. You are visible. But
Right.
the problem is that presence alone without any strategic input or any business value input is itself a ceiling for the senior positions. Strategic visibility is completely different, and it means that you are known for something specific. Let me give one example actually here. Uh, Suppose every quarter you send your skip level manager without being asked one page brief of something you have observed in your area, you have done the business implementation, not a status update. It's a kind
Mhm.
of an insight that here is a pattern I'm seeing in delivery delays. Here is the root cause I have identified. Here is what I recommend to fix it. That one particular paragraph may become a ticket for your growth because you are solving the manager's problem. That manager is actually thinking about it, right? Everything is happening, but what is something a surprise element comes. So if you are at the execution level, you are managing in the middle management, and you are surrounded with all this situation, and you see some pattern. This is your opportunity to raise that thing
Right.
because early detection is going to solve the business issues, right? It will add the value, and once it is fixed, very cleverly you can just write it down that if it would happen, this was the business cost. So, as I said earlier, you have to start thinking in the business language, not just the task level status
Agree.
reporting.
I
Yeah.
absolutely agree.
Yes,
You need to increase the dollar value for your organization, increase the
exactly.
business for your organization. Yeah. Now, coming to, we have all observed this, we have seen it. Um, you're working, you're slogging, you're doing a lot of hard work. Someone comes from outside organization and they become, they gain the promotion, or someone already in your organization working with you, they still go get promotions faster than you. Why these such kind of things happen?
Let's be very honest here because I'm sure you will not find even me or you must have seen this situation. We all have faced this situation,
Yes, yes.
right? When I believe that I'm doing everything right. I'm
Right,
extending my shifts. I am available whenever my manager is calling, working in different shifts, but still somebody else is getting promoted. And reason is very clear that I said that the visibility is actually not at the right place. Your visibility is at your manager level. You have very good repo. But what about next level or your peers on other departments? That is one thing. So maybe your colleague having less experience is generally operating at a higher bandwidth,
right,
right? They are not just doing their job, but they are thinking like something already the next level. They always talk in that bandwidth. They are taking initiative. Somebody is building their right relationship with the department. They're making their own value visibility. They're speaking to the language to the business outcome that I said. Whenever you are talking in laws, don't take that I did this, that, but what I did for business and how business was grown. what kind of risk I was able to mitigate. Right. This was something identified as a risk. I did the proactive action. It was mitigated. It was avoided, and based on that, we saved this much cost. Right. So all these things it has to be. So number two, you have to be the pretend that it doesn't exist a bias or favoritism or politics. Organizations are not perfect everywhere. You have to think about that the scenario will be same. Doesn't
Right.
matter this office or that office, this company or that company. Same people are working everywhere. So you can't find 100% transparent environment. You can't find 100% biased environment. So you have to work in the same organization. Anybody can tell me that I worked for that organization, there was no politics. So, right. So I would say actually there is no politics. We think that this is a politics.
Right.
Same person will become on the higher position someday. I have seen so many people that person was talking in different tone 5 years ago, but when it become a director or senior director, when I talk to that person, his talking language and his perception is entirely changed because
Changed.
now
Yeah.
he is able to see the 365, complete 360-degree perception and business scenarios. What are the challenges? Why people are doing that? So these are the. Let me tell you one example.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sometime there was an incident that some training came
Hmm.
and system was working very well, but we got a notification that you have to do it a different way or translate it in different language. I can't explain tell the exact business constant, but I'm just giving example. Something is
Yeah.
working very well,
Hmm.
but you all of a sudden you get that you have to do this thing.
Okay.
Now the junior staff start thinking ki why these guys are not happy with our free time. Everything is working fine. System is well. Then all of a sudden somebody came that you have to do this way because just they want to create a work. I would say actually they want to create a work. Because if you are sitting idle on paper, your per hour work is not getting justified. You are being asked for is to spend some time with training, self improvement, all these things. It is actually good for you because
Agree.
ultimately at the balance sheet, if you are looked at, you have free time, you don't have any work, then what will be the result? If each of us know, right? So perception changes when you become at that level.
Hmm.
So somebody who has that maturity, who understand that if something is coming to me, there is a purpose behind that. That person only go to that level. Leaders know everything.
Right. Now, let's say the people with about whom we are talking, like people who spend 10, 15 years in the in the industry, they are stuck in the same roles and all that. What practical changes these people can do to break this pattern?
Oh, there are many changes. Last time, I think we were discussed about in the agile team scenario, right?
Right.
And it's not for that podcast only. I personally follow that, and I always advise to all the subordinates or whoever is coming to me. Always create a habit of self retrospective. That's very important,
Correct.
right? So first thing is whenever you are talking, we are writing your output or your report should be in the business language, not in like five tasks were there, three is closed. That is the status reporting.
Mm.
That can be done by a 6 month tenured employee as well, right?
Right.
We have Jira ticket or we have Microsoft project or whatever tool you are using. Tools are giving that status. In fact, now in age of AI, these tasks are eliminated. These roles are eliminated actually.
Right.
You are not going to give the reporting all these things, right? But you have to talk about that after completing these many tasks, what business value has been increased.
Correct.
So rather than if you say that I closed five tasks this week, what if you say that I have reduced the 30% backlog of the business, right? You're talking about the same thing, but in different language. So
Correct.
when you say that I have reduced the backlog of 30% for the business, that creates more impact than the number of task item you have closed. No.
Correct.
Second thing, map your relationship gap. You have to think about that you are not working with a single person. Till the time you are junior role, it's okay. You have to please your manager, all this thing. But when you are thinking about the senior leadership, it is you are going to work for the entire organization, maybe entire vertical, and that vertical has different leaders. So your rapport buildup is very important. from day one, I would say, try to connect with each manager, each department, and wherever you can reach, and try to understand their perception.
Correct.
Even if you are in the hiring team, so why somebody is creating? There is a team that is doing the digital marketing. Other person is converting that lead into the sales. Other person is a pre-sale manager who is creating a big package, a good package that can be sold out. Next person, next department is working for the operational chores or execution and implementation. Then maybe you are going for the next level manager that is going to be responsible to renew that business. So each of us were working different capacity, but working for a common goal, that is the company growth. So when you start thinking from the perspective of from start to end cycle, then only you can think about, okay, it's not only my team, there are other teams who are contributing to this success,
Correct.
right? So that perception has to be changed. So take any assignment that is beyond your scope. Try to put yourself into the discomfort zone. You will be success or not, that's a different thing. But if you put accept these kind of behaviors, trust me, you start learning new things.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
There is a myth that, I have to be in the same domain for 15 years, 30 years, 20 years. And I see perfection can be in only two ways, either same role, different industries, or same industry, different roles.
Right.
And one gold standard is different role and different industries, right? So 2, 3 years is enough for one role, one industry. Beyond that, if you are spending time, then that means actually you are not learning anything.
Mm.
So try to pull out from the comfort zone, put some discomfort around you, keep learning new things, keep evaluating self retrospective, what you are doing right, what you are doing wrong. Be honest with yourself and keep learning, keep shining. That's the mantra.
Great. Wonderful discussion, Manoj ji. I really enjoyed it. So, too many takeaways. So, I will put most of the takeaways in the description. So, do watch it. If you really enjoyed this discussion, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and from entire audience of Agile Exploration Hub. Thank you, Manoj ji.
Thank you, Nagesh. Thanks for
Thank you, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.